Okay, now we're looking at a model of the spinal cord itself. We just went over the different parts of the spinal cord on the slide, but we'll go over it again quickly on the model. This is the spinal cord itself, and your spinal cord, if you recall, is made up of white matter, which is called columns, and gray matter, which is called horns. Now we want to identify the anterior and posterior part of the spinal cord. So we're going to look at this division right here. This is in the anterior portion of the spinal cord, called the anterior median fissure, means middle crack of the front. And in the back we have a much thinner slice, and this is the posterior median sulci. Once you've identified anterior and posterior, now you just name the white columns: anterior columns, posterior columns, lateral columns, and we have two of each. And then the gray matter is called the horns. We've got the anterior horns, the posterior horns. We do not have any lateral horns. They would be here, but they're only found in the thoracic and lumbar region, and this is a cervical vertebrae. Connecting the two horns from either side is this strip of tissue called the gray commissure, and in the center is the central canal, that little hole which will carry cerebrospinal fluid. On this model, we can also see the incoming nerve. The nerve coming here is a spinal nerve, and it will be a mixed nerve, which means it carries incoming and outgoing information. But as it gets close to the spinal cord, it will branch. And the dorsal root, which will carry it around to the back, the dorsal side, will take incoming sensory information in. And then the information will relieve from the ventral side on the ventral root, and this will be motor information. Your dorsal root has this enlarged area right here called the dorsal root ganglia. Remember, ganglia is a group of neurons in the peripheral nervous system. Also on this model, we can see the three meninges. Now it's going to go dura, the most external, to the arachnoid matter, to the pia matter. In this model, the one that's most easy for you to see right off is this mint green one, which is the arachnoid matter. Right above it, there is a white layer. That is your dura matter. And then stuck right on the spinal cord is the gray pia matter. Now we're going to look at the next slide, and the next model. The next model will be, again, of the spinal cord. We're not going to go over all the parts. But the thing I want you to see on this one that you can really see is the spinal nerves. Here is my spinal nerve coming in. Over here is the spinal nerve coming in. That's the mixed nerve. When it gets close to the spinal cord, it will send the sensory information around to the dorsal side on the dorsal root. You can see that nice dorsal root ganglia. And then the motor information will come out on the ventral root and will merge back with the spinal root of the nerve. So your spinal nerve, again, is incoming and outgoing, considered a mixed nerve. End.